Greetings, creeps, and welcome to Convo Fango. Today, we are joined by the star of Megan, Violet McGraw. Woo! Yay! Thanks for coming to hang out with us.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for having me.
I don't have a Megan doll, but I have a Chucky doll. I feel like I should have had him sitting next to me here for ambiance. So I love this movie. I went with my whole family to see it. My mom hates horror movies, but she will begrudgingly watch them with us. And she pinched my arm and punched me multiple times as if I had something to do with it. But it was all you guys. So I'm going to tell my mom to blame you. So what part of this whole Megan experience has been your favorite, has been the most fun for you?
Well, working with like the doll, seeing how they did all of it, it was really amazing. Like when I first saw Megan, I was like a little bit creeped out by her,
Okay.
but I worked with her for 3 months, so I definitely got used to her at the end. But working with her was like my favorite part was definitely just seeing how they brought the doll to life.
I love that. People say the same thing about me. They're like, I was creeped out, but after 3 months, it was fine. I was actually wondering if you were ever creeped out because it's such like she looks nice, but it's almost so perfect and so
Yeah,
lifelike, but
lifelike.
there's an
Yeah.
eeriness to it, right?
Yeah, like I was a little creeped out in the beginning. Again, I was a little creeped out, but I did work with her for 3 months, so I
And now you guys
definitely
are
got used
besties.
to it. But yeah, but
Yeah.
other than that, I've just never been really scared on any like scary films because there's a lot of people around you. There's the cameraman, there's a bunch of the crew and the cast, so I'm never really scared.
It's wild because you're already kind of like a horror veteran at this point. I mean, you've worked with Mike Flanagan, you did Haunting of Hill House, you did Doctor Sleep, you've done Megan. So are you a horror fan or are you now a horror fan?
Well, when I was 6, when I was on The Haunting of Hill House, that's when I became a horror fan because
Okay.
it was my first ever scary thing. And the way that just the makeup, the special effects, the scary music that they add, it was so amazing. And I definitely have became a horror fan because of working on all of these.
I love that. What are some of your favorite horror movies or shows or books or stories? What kind of horror stuff are you into?
Well, I just watched Halloween Ends and I was actually pretty good. I actually liked it. I think it was really good. I was watching it on the airplane actually, and it was actually really good, but I don't know if I really actually have like a certain kind of like scary like suggestion. Like I like any scary films. I'm maybe like murder mystery, like
Mhm.
scary murder mysteries. I feel like I'm a big fan of like mysteries and things like that.
I love that. So for right now, you're kind of just diving in. You're like, give me all of it. And then you're like honing down your
Yeah.
subgenres as we go. That's the way to start. You got to just start with all of it and be like, let me just like pick my favorite ones. So did you start with Halloween Ends or have you seen other Halloween movies too?
I started with Halloween Ends.
You go.
I've heard like about the other ones, but yeah, my first one I watched was Halloween Ends.
Okay, I'm gonna have to do a whole separate interview with you about that because I'm like, tell me how this feels going in. I mean, I'm guessing did somebody like did your mom kind of fill you in? I'm like, here's a little bit of the backstory. You just went in blind. You're like, we're just going Halloween Ends. I know nothing about.
Yeah.
That's awesome. If you were programming your own Megan doll, what are like the most important features that it would have? Like in the movie,
I,
she can dance and stuff. Is that important in your
oh
version?
yeah, for sure. We're gonna do like
Obviously.
TikToks all the time with each other. But I'm definitely gonna give her like less, like yeah, like not like the movie. I'm gonna give her less, I don't know what to call it.
Less murder. Program slightly less murder,
Yeah. I'm
maybe?
not gonna
Okay.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna I'm gonna give her parental controls, definitely.
Nice. Okay. So more dancing, less
Yeah,
murder, and
for sure.
Violet's
I'm gonna make
version.
her like, yeah, but I'm not gonna let her replace my family members. But she could definitely be in like take. It'd be so cool if I like did just a TikTok with her and people are like, "Oh my gosh, that make it." That'd be actually really cool.
I feel like you need to do that. You need to make a
That'd be
series
so
of
fun.
those, right? I would be one of the people that's like, oh my God, that's so cool. Can you talk a little bit about what's it like? What has it been like working with Mike Flanagan? Because that's pretty cool.
Well, working with Mike Flanagan was amazing. Like I said, I was 6 years old when I was filming The Haunting of Hill House, and he just had such great patience with me, and he's such a good director. And I definitely want to work with him in the future because he's such a talented director, and it'd be really fun to work with him again.
I would love to see more collaborations between you guys because you're a wonderful actor. He's a wonderful director. And I was like, give me some more of that collab, please. You've also done some Christmas movies. What do you prefer? Do you prefer doing like lighthearted kind of stuff? Or do you like the darker, scary stuff? Or is it kind of like, yeah, balance it out?
Yeah, I'm kind of like in the middle because like being on horror films is just it's so much different than Christmas. But actually, being in Christmas films is really fun because you get to film like in July and it's like you might get a little hot because it's like very like it's like summer and things like that. But it's just they're so different. I love both so much because Christmas movies are so happy and horror movies are dark and not happy. But I'm definitely in the middle of that.
It rounds it out. It provides a healthy
Yeah.
balance, you know. Also,
Yeah.
it's this weird phenomenon. There are a ton of actors and writers and directors who have a lot of horror credits, but also a lot of Christmas credits. Like that's a common thing. So I think like you're right. You're already becoming like a horror queen because you're like, I got my Christmas credits and I got my horror credits. It's all happening. So you've been one of the biggest horror movies of the year, maybe the biggest horror movie of the year. Your sister was starred in one of the biggest horror movies last year, The Black Phone. Do you guys ever talk about working together? Would you like to do that?
Yes, it's always been a dream of ours to work with each other on a movie. I've worked with like my brothers on like commercials and stuff like that, but it's always been a dream of mine to work with my sister because I don't know, but like staying in a hotel with her would just be really fun. Like getting to spend because most of the things usually I like filmed have been like in summertime. So we would like get to do a bunch of stuff together on during summertime. We'd get to travel together and just working on a show or movie together has always been a dream. And I feel like it could definitely happen.
I think that's definitely going to happen. I think that's in the cards. Would you rather you did a Christmas movie together or a horror movie together?
I feel like maybe both would be really fun to do, but maybe a Christmas movie. It'd be really fun to just do like a really like happy and upbeat movie together and like on like Christmas morning we're like opening gifts. I think that's like the whole like Christmas vibe together would just be really fun.
That's what the movie is called, Christmas Vibes. Watch for it in 2025. Let's see. So Megan has been confirmed for a sequel, which we're all very excited about. Is there anything you didn't get to do in the first one that you would just like love to do in the second one?
You know, as my character, I think she did everything that she was supposed to. I mean, she was like kind of a superhero at the end.
Well,
And
definitely a superhero at the
oh
end.
yeah, for sure. Like I felt like a total superhero on that with the gloves and everything. It was so cool seeing it when it was all done in theaters. But you know, I'm really excited to see what Katie does and Megan and Gemma, what they do next in the sequel. But I'm in for a big surprise. I'm really excited to see and get the script and I'm gonna read it right away.
I'm scared to see what Megan does next, but I feel like Katie can handle her. Also, if Katie has been like working on her like robotic glove skills, I'm like, oh, you better watch out in that second one.
Yeah, for sure.
That would be cool, right? You just come in and you
Yes.
have like your robot guy is just like next to you all the time, and you're like, don't even think about it, Megan. Don't
That'd
even
be
try
so cool. That's a really good idea.
All right, guys, you can use that idea for free. You were actually so Megan was on our cover, and you are, bam, in the magazine right there, which we were all very excited about, and that was very, very cool. If you had a chance to play Megan, like even in just one scene, would you want to do that? Like, is that fun for you to be like the bad guy?
That would be so fun. I've always wanted to be like also just maybe a villain in a movie. That would be really fun. I feel like I have maybe some evil vibes, maybe just a little bit with like the dark hair and the looks. But like being if I was Megan, it'd be so fun to just be a villain, especially Megan as a villain. Like the dancing, the singing. I think it would be really fun to get to play Megan.
So if you got to be a villain, not in Megan, but just in any horror movie at all, would you want to be like a masked villain? Would you want like creepy makeup? Would you want to be just like, I look completely normal, but I'm actually very scary? Like, what's like your ideal villain
I
character?
feel like maybe like a costume kind of like with like maybe a little mask, like just like that, not covering like the whole face, and maybe with my hair like in French braids, things like that. I've actually like kind of planned my whole villain look, and I feel like I would just have like maybe like thunder powers or something, tornadoes, wind, things like that. But yeah, that's
You,
been
you
like,
may have thought about it once or twice, maybe. See, what you just described is something that could work as a Halloween costume, which is always my favorite because I'm like, that has to be the coolest thing. You're like, oh, I got to play this character, and now everyone is dressing as this character for Halloween. But that's like
oh my gosh,
iconic.
that's so cool because I love that so many people are also dressing up as Megan.
Mhm.
But what would be really cool is like if I played a superhero or just a villain or like any like iconic character with an outfit like that. It would be so cool to see like if they were selling like my costume on Amazon online. I think that would be really cool.
And then you just see it and you're just like, just people walking around dressed like as you, as your character. That's wild.
Yeah.
Right? That's the coolest. You also did a short film that I'm a big fan of, Grummy, and you work opposite a giant practical effects monster. And I'm wondering if was that similar at all, or did that help you working with like the tiny creepy practical effects Megan?
Well, they're both super different because the Grummy was like it was like a full-on costume. There was never not someone in it. There was always a person, and actually he was also pretty like not obviously not like a human, but he felt pretty real because I don't know. But working on Grummy was so much fun, and just it was so cool because purple's my favorite color, and like my a purple monster was my like best friend, and I thought it was like a really cool idea, but. Yeah, I mean, maybe it helped a little bit because they were both in masks, and I actually developed a relationship with like both of them, even though it was like a grown adult. But I definitely became very close with both of those actors.
Good friends with Grummy and Megan.
Yeah.
They're going to be at like your birthday parties and stuff, and you guys just hanging out. Consider you
Actually, I
guys
wish
handsome.
that. I wish.
Yeah, make it happen. You hear that, Grummy, Megan? Get on it with the party hats, bringing cakes. All right, thank you so much, Violet. This was amazing. We're so
Thank
excited
you.
for the sequel. We're very excited for this.